What's up, gamers? Critical thinkers? Maybe not so critical thinkers. How's everybody doing today? Daddy Gato back with a fresh vid for y'all. Well, some big news today. The Supreme Court ruled that affirmative action is unconstitutional. Cue the lefty outrage.
United States, President Obama, for the
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald.
So let's go ahead and dive right into it, y'all.
Julia, what do we know at this point?
Well, that's right. Affirmative action has been blocked both for private and public colleges. This is in the UNC case and in the Harvard case. We thought there may be a split where they might say that it's unconstitutional for public universities taking public money, but perhaps not for private. But they've said in both cases, college admissions cannot consider race as they try to diversify their student bodies. Now, this is overturning a 2003 opinion by then Justice Sotomayor, who said at that time, we hope in 25 years we won't have to look at race as a consideration in college, but that's just not the makeup of our country right now. Well, it's been 20 years, and these justices have said that the court, according to this opinion today, that they think that race should no longer be a consideration as colleges try to diversify. Going back to oral arguments, we heard then from Chief Justice Roberts saying, look, he basically saw it as being more racist in violation of Title 14 to look at race in considering who should be admitted to college. Harvard tried to argue this is just like trying to get an oboe player on our orchestra. We would look out for oboe players just like we would look at race and trying to diversify our student body. At the time, Chief Justice Roberts said no, because we didn't have a civil war over oboe players and we did over race. This will, of course, have historic impacts going forward as colleges try to diversify their student bodies, looking at other things like geographical factors.
Yeah, it's just absurd to think like they think. Like they really think that now nothing but white kids are going to get into college. I mean, which also saying a lot too about the other side and how they view black people or people of color. Sorry. It's just fucking absurd. Like, I mean, to be considered to a good college, it should be based on your merit. It should be based on your test scores. That's it. Plain and simple. And your little extracurricular activities and stuff you help around the community, stuff like that should help you get into a college, and not the color of your fucking skin. Because it's actually been hurting like Asian people like way more than any other race, I believe, from getting into really good colleges. All right, let's start with this one. Horrible white female Democrat and former field organizer for President Joe Biden, Erica Marsh, writes, today's Supreme Court decision is a direct attack on black people. No black people will be able to succeed in a merit-based system, which is exactly why affirmative action-based programs are needed. Today's decision is a travesty. That's so fucking racist. Like, it reminds me of when, I don't remember when it was, like maybe a year ago or whatever, when, was it either Alabama or Florida? They were trying to make it to where you have to have a voter ID to vote. And, like, all these fucking racist people were like, well, that's not fair. Black people, it's hard for them to get a license. They don't have enough money, or they don't have a car to get to the DMV. Like, what? Like, do you not listen to what the fuck you're just saying? Like, that's fucking racist. Like, that's the way you actually think? Like, that majority of black people are fucking too poor to get a fucking goddamn ID? That's fucking insane and racist. It's fucking absurd. Like, first of all, if say a person is having a hard time getting an ID or whatever, there's actually programs that help you get an ID or whatever, you know, at least in certain states. But let's say that everything they're saying is true. Or at least for the most part, let's say that what they're saying is true. Do you think somebody that's dirt-ass poor that can't afford a fucking ID is worried about fucking going to go vote? That's the fucking last thing on their fucking mind. The fucking crackhead at the end of the fucking street ain't worried about going to go fucking vote. They could fucking care less. Martin Luther King Jr. would be proudly standing with President Trump in support of the Supreme Court decision to end affirmative action. A great day for equality. I kind of agree. I mean, we don't know for a fact, but I agree. After the Supreme Court ruling today, Democrats across America are essentially screaming black people are too stupid to get into college. Yep. Fact, Democrats are the party of racism. Pretty much. I've been saying it forever. Like, they're either closeted fucking racist or they're just too dumb to know what they're saying is racist. Oh, Occupy Democrats. President Biden blessed the Supreme Court over his decision today to end affirmative action for college admissions, declaring that this is not a normal Supreme Court and that it's the far-right court just walked away from decades of precedent. Fucking Joe Biden's racist as fuck. Y'all, man, I swear, man. They ignore everything when it comes to their side. This motherfucker said that he don't want his kids going to school with black people because it'd be a jungle, a radical or a radical jungle, a racial jungle, some shit like that. The dude's a fucking loony. This is Harvard's admission rates based on race. Asians 12%, whites 3%, Hispanic 31%, 56% black. Holy shit. I didn't know it was that fucking bad. It was actually systematic racism, but labeled affirmative action. That's what the Supreme Court ruled against this morning. Next up, corporate hiring practices. Michelle Obama. No one gives a fuck about Michelle. Or Michael. I'm sorry, Michael Obama. Can't fucking... you can't tell me otherwise. Oh, fucking Sleepy Joe. This awkward. Supreme Court rules against affirmative action with affirmative action hire sitting right there. This lady, oh man. This lady's so dumb she can't even tell you what a woman is because she's not a quote unquote fucking biologist. You can't fucking make stupid up like this. This joke of a vice president, like, I'm not even gonna comment on this fucking dumb bitch, bro. Oh yeah. Look what else Sleepy Joe did today. Look at this shit. This shit'll make you laugh.
Well, you know, if I say it's anti-democratic, then it gets
Get in a lot of trouble.
No, but it is. Its value system is different, and its respect for institutions is different, and in that sense, it is not as embracing of all what I think the Constitution says. We hold these truths we self that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator. It's the uniqueness of America. We never fully lived up to it. We never walked away from it, and this court seems to say that no, that's not always the case. The idea there's no right of privacy in the Constitution, giving states power that we fought a war over in 1960. You know, I just think it's...
What?
This is not your father's Republican Party.
What is he even fucking saying? I'm fucking lost, man. Did this motherfucker said a war we fought over in 1960? Breaking. Evacuations underway. Supreme Court's front steps following discovery of suspicious package. Nah. Crazy lefties again. It's probably a nothing burger, but you know, we gotta be better safe than sorry, right? So let's see what the Asian kid had to say.
I think that this whole business, when we're deciding based on race, at least as a factor, that sort of assumes that all people of a certain race are sort of monolithic, that minorities are monolithic. And I know at least for Asian Americans, sort of the way that we're perceived is hardworking, no charisma, no character. And you see that in those in the Harvard case, you'll see that that's how they view Asian American students. They see us sort of as bland and sort of lacking character. And I think that that's sort of what happens to all minority groups when you view us first and foremost as a certain race, and then just look at individual characteristics that we have later. I think we should flip that around and view our individual characteristics regardless of what race we are first and foremost. And I think that's the most appropriate way to do this. Because there, again, you can look at recommendation letters. You can look at, there's so many other things that you can look at. And I know that Bumi was mentioning sort of this holistic admissions process. In that process, you have so much data. You have access to your parents' income, for instance. If you might need financial aid, you have access to information about the school district that you grew up in. And I think that information actually gives you knowledge of the student situation and sort of what advantages or disadvantages that you might have in life, because any student of any race at an underfunded school district won't necessarily have the same opportunities as somebody at a very highly funded school district. And so by looking at what opportunities they had available and how they were able to make the most of that is not something that requires you to look at race. When you can actually pinpoint that the experiences that a student might have had through other factors that don't involve race.
Based. That's going to pretty much do it for me today. I wholeheartedly agree with the Supreme Court, and I'm glad it's gone. Score one for the good guys. If you like this video, please leave a like and sub, and I'll be back, baby. Peace out.